I'll heal you all though if you need me to heal you.
I can heal.
No, I can heal you. I'm not wearing a sword. Your brother brought a real sword. It's very dangerous. I had a plastic one. What the fuck's that about? He brought a real sword. All right, tonight we got Johnny on. We're doing a live role play D&D. Johnny runs a summer camp for kids in Ocean Springs. Puts his heart into it. Cade and Johnny know a good bit about D&D.
Whoa!
Me and Anthony know nothing about D&D.
This is my second time.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to take care of y'all. It's going to be super easy.
But Cade, you better calm down. Dude's got millions of views on the internet over World of Warcraft as duels.
Oh.
He was sponsored big time. I looked at it. He got 3-4 million views of you just killing people with duels.
Yeah.
So he knows a lot.
Very impressive.
Nothing to do with D&D, but yeah.
I mean,
I know.
I know you guys were a little bit scared about the math, but now that we've all got it taken care of, this is going to be easy breezy. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Also, I do have to say, it is not my summer camp. It is hosted at Rock U, and this is the second year that I've been able to do it. I absolutely love it. Kids are awesome. I have a few campers returning this year. We're going to probably start the second chapter of their campaign. But if anyone is interested, and there is still a couple days to sign up, and if you get in touch with Rock U2, it starts next week on Monday, which is, if somebody will help me out with the date, I believe the 9th.
June 9th?
Yes.
Yeah, after my birthday.
It's the 5th right now. Yeah.
So that's a Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you. And whenever, basically, I feel like I should give you all first of all, you guys look amazing. I mean, thank you so much for
It's a real story.
all of this. I know.
That's a real story.
I'm not fighting you.
Oh, and everybody went so goth too. Like I feel like in a true tradition of tabletop gaming is the edgelord level, and I absolutely love it, guys. Like, thank you so much. I think a brief introduction to the game, basically for our newcomers, those of you that haven't played, we're gonna kind of talk out a video game. It's very similar to playing, technology's caught up. It's very similar to playing a video game, but we're going to do it live. We're going to do it right now. The reason I had y'all put together your character sheets so that we can get all the math is so that I can look at it and kind of calculate. I would be considered traditionally known as a dungeon master, but more modernly a game master. I'm going to basically be the referee. I'm going to be the computer, if you will, that you guys are playing the game on. Couple of simple rules is to be yourselves, of course. Number one, everybody have fun. Kind of think of yourself as your character in a way that it's not necessarily like what my character would do, but because the dice will tell you what happens and show your choices, but it's more of a what my character knows and doesn't know and how they feel about that. We're going to get into it right now. Are you guys ready to start?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let me hit the intro quick go for us. Shout out to Coffee Shops. This is a district love right here. A lot of work. Boys are tired. Let me hit this real quick.
Music by Plowed. Magnolia Room Speakeasy. Airbnb Bosses. Drinks. Shout out to John. Direct Auto. Go see Michael West. Collision Depot. They will fix and repair to the highest standard. The District Coffee Company, downtown Ocean Springs, and the new location, Pascagoula.
Captain Al's, Gulfport, Mississippi. Go see Stacy and Bert.
We offer home, auto, motion, builders, rips, and life excellence.
Join our podcast with McCade Hibbert and Anthony Potera.
Yeah, we're
Now
there.
we're in it.
We're in it.
All right.
It's a lot of dice.
Yeah. So you don't have to. It's all the same thing. I think you roll 2 dice.
It depends. It depends on what we're doing.
All right.
And I will
I'll
tell
let the
you
dungeon master.
exactly what we're
When
doing.
you can roll.
All right.
War changes everything. It is the dusk of the Helling, the infernal realm, as of nearly 2 score ago, combined with the other planes, unleashing unfathomable abominations across the world. Many tribes formed together, enemies became friends. Much was lost. But at the end of the day, at the end of nearly the century, they were able to fight back the forces of darkness, of complete chaos, and of hell. However, the land is completely torn apart, ravaged. People don't have a living anymore. Crops barely grow. Undead run rampant, however, are also more sentient than ever. The land itself has been forever changed. And a mysterious substance called goom seems to be bubbling out of the ground like dark crude oil, creating further abominations to remind us all of the infernal wars and the helling that came before them. Which brings us to you three, who have recently taken a job from Raldusa. You sit gathered around a campfire in a deep, dark wood, the fog around you as ominous as the presence of the wood itself. While you can't necessarily perceive anything, a dark energy has changed the land, forming plants that seem to have teeth, trees that are too soft to be able to grow as tall as they are, and even the soil itself seems corrupted. As you sit around said campfire, you eye each other down, being new friends, if not acquaintances, and you think back to how you first got this job. One day earlier, you find yourself in the coastal commissary in the town of Dresden. It is a bar shipping in a pub, a shipping import and outport, as well as a brewery of fine magical potions, as well as bizarre elixirs. William Woodtongue stands behind the bar, ravaged from the war, missing his arm and his leg, now replaced with mechanicals. But his most famous wooden tongue, which no one even understands why he has a prosthetic for, sharpens and dilutes his speech into basically incomprehensible mush. However, he can still make a good drink. Over in the corner, you see an angry gnome with a pointy red hat selling candles. A large sign sits in front of the table that the gnome has their wares on as they drink back another and another of some sort of brewed potion. And then there's the three of you, sitting separately on different sides of the bar. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
I would like to order 3 tequila shots for the 2 gentlemen across the bar.
All right, so what you're going to need to do, so do you turn to William Woodtongue and ask for said drinks?
Yeah. So,
Or do you just give him a tequila shot?
well, are we next to each other?
We're across the bar. So
Y'all are together now.
no,
Across the bar?
we're all separate.
Okay, and this is what this is for. So basically, you got a corner bar. You got a few tables. Over here is said gnome selling candles.
Gnome selling candles.
Over here is the entryway. One of you is here.
Okay.
One of you is here. One of you is here.
What is your name? I'm probably gonna eye Scar across the bar. Like, we should do a tequila shot. Like, I mean,
And then I'm going to look over to at you and go, well, that's pretty dope. And I'll take a shot. This is me being myself. This is pretty dope. And looks like we need to
involve. He needs to come in.
Well, Vito's already sitting there pounding.
Vino the White, what is he doing?
Vito the White's ready to stab everybody. You can see it right now in his eyes. Vito's ready to go, and it's just how much is the bounty, or how much is the challenge? Like, what do we get?
Well, you don't know yet. Right now, you are remembering, and we will get to this. But right now, you guys are approaching. So there is a slight dexterous half elf, obviously keenly trained as the way his eyes keep darting around the bar, the way his ears twitch, and the way his fingers stay completely still yet are constantly deftly moving to catch almost imperceivable specks of dust out of the air. Turns to a grizzled human sitting on the other side, sitting 2 seats away from him, covered in a patchwork of thorn and plantaceous matter, as well as different sacks of leather, and obviously a bit well worn for the trail. The two of them, while discussing a drink, an extremely large half-orc who seems to just simply be grumbling to themselves to the point where their knees slap the bar and create indentions that furiously point into the side. William Woodtongue senses that there seems to be somewhat of a connection here, and he approaches. I'll tell you what, Aldwin, will you grab a D20 and roll a linguistics check for me? Allie, sorry about that. Here, if you want to do it in the
my bad.
I'll take your 19
Sorry.
though. That's not
That was
bad.
not bad. You want to take?
Yeah, we'll take that.
All right.
Okay, so by barely perceiving the man with the wooden tongue, missing arm, replaced with what seems to be a steam-powered drink shaker and wide gate, you can kind of understand that he assumed you wanted some drinks. So he goes ahead and motions to you, and then motions to the wall, which has the bounties on it, and points out to the board that Raldusen is looking for a group of adventurers. As he pulls out 3 glasses, the last part you can't really perceive what he says. What do you guys do?
I would say disguise.
What do you want to do?
Okay, we're getting interesting. What are you going to do? Describe to me why and how you're going to disguise yourself.
I would say a druid, right?
You are, yes.
So I would shift into a bartender.
Unfortunately, you can't shift yet. I can't shift at the moment. We went over your spells. You got a little bit of stuff and stuff like that, but consider yourself a mercenary down on his luck after in a post-wartime era, sitting in a speakeasy.
What would I do?
Yeah, you just had 3 drinks by an obviously grizzled veteran put in front of you, and while saying so, he once again has a wooden tongue, but he inexplicably pointed to the board, which has the bounties which have been paid, not paid on them, written in a dark chalk, actually on a lighter board that has obviously been erased numerous times, as jobs have been scarce lately and they are short for the coming, and points to, with his stubby left of his basically leather-capped thumb prosthetic, he points to the board where it says C. Raldusen.
So I would look at my coin purse, look down,
Okay.
and I would go, I ain't got much there, so I'll take anything on, and I'll take on the journey.
William Woodtongue pours 3 drinks for you guys, and then kind of disappears before, as you look down at him pouring, he nearly disappears. You can't see which door he went through, or even if there's a secret door behind the bar, but it's just suddenly empty, and 3 oddly colored drinks sit in front of you.
We're gonna definitely take the drinks. And
Vito, where are you at? What you gonna do?
Drink. We're gonna drink.
we're drinking, and then we're gonna go on this quest.
All right, so all 3 of you approach each other. You have a short engagement and decide to look at the odd colored drinks in front of you.
Hey, where's our characters? Oh wait, that'd be cool.
There you go. Yeah, and I will tell you this. I'm going to give you this rather than rolling for this one. Give me an odd or an even, please. And I want all 3 of you. Give me, just say odd or even.
Odd or even?
Yeah.
I'm going even.
Even.
Yeah. Odd.
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 Odd. 2 odds and an even. Heard.
Drink orange water. Okay. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, guys. Once again, also, this is a great time while I'm looking up things, which won't happen too often. One of the biggest parts of D&D is absolutely snacks, which I did bring, and the weirder the better. So I did bring an assortment in case anybody's looking for chips or something like that. They are next to you. The drinks in front of you.
There's an inn.
Even though you ordered tequila, the drink in front of you has a somewhat greenish tint. And as each of you take it, you feel a little bit, you immediately feel a boost to your confidence. It's almost
It's definitely
not, it's almost not even like it does the opposite of giving you a buzz, where you suddenly feel clearer and more aware. At this moment, William Woodtongue suddenly, almost ghostly, appears behind the bar. He waves a crooked, obviously broken, numerous times finger over at a table and speaks in his broken, unintelligible dialect with his wooden tongue flapping in his mouth, cracking against his teeth. His one glass eye seems to be over lubricated, and it just keeps spinning in his head. He nods at you guys, takes the glasses away, and seemingly disappears into thin air again. Over at the table he pointed at is a large half-orc wearing what seems to be the finest of evening wear, silk robes and twice-stitched shoes. He seems very out of place, which this isn't a dive bar per se, but it's much more of a local, kind of a ship handler's, kind of a working man's bar. And he seems very out of place of how he's dressed. And he waves the 3 of you over.
Let's go, boys. Let's walk over and say hey.
So, what can we do for you?
Ral Dewson, with an oddly braided beard and combed over haircut, turns to you and explains that times have obviously been tough, but they haven't been tougher as of lately. The Rat Gang, a group of undesirables, has come together, and since the death of their leader, Sweetbean, has basically taken over the town. He's been able to keep the bar away from it, but he's been having to hide his valuables in a nearby ghost town. right above the giant steps to the northeast. While it's overgrown in moss and completely covered, so there's only a few ramshackle buildings left, there's a small alcove underneath said ghost town where he's been using as a storage. However, with the moving undead coming in and the way that the Goom is taking over the land, it's been hard to keep things there. And the last time he tried to move them out, he was attacked by a group of the Rat Gang, which consists of goblins, gnolls, different factions that have come together. He explains that what he needs you to do is to go in there, see what all is left, not destroyed, clean out his makeshift storage unit, and bring back what you possibly can. The most important thing is retrieving the other 2 shipments that he could not get the first time. Do you accept this challenge?
I think we accept the challenge.
I'm down.
We're good. So we accept the challenge.
You good?
It doesn't sound like something I'd want to do.
All right, it's good.
Suddenly, a twig snapping brings you back to the reality, and you guys quit reminiscing and talking about how good the drinks make you feel. You find yourself seated around a campfire in the middle of a dire wood. Trees and bushes mutated. Somewhere in the distance, this is a campfire. Somewhere in the distance, rustling and low snapping catch your attention. What do you guys do?
Did you hear that noise?
In the woods?
Yeah.
Investigate that noise.
All right. Now, there's a couple ways we can go about this. Would anybody like to do a perception check?
Can I roll?
I was going to say, check often, roll often. Would you please roll a perception check for me?
Yes.
Now, that doesn't mean that you guys can't.
I'm sorry, I should have.
D20.
But is it
do the big one?
It is a 20.
Oh, that is 20. Nope. That's a here. Do this guy or this guy, depending on which one you want, or that guy. 17. And then you are also very perceptive.
Them Dutcher boys.
Swear.
We'll do something.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty heavy for us at 17.
Is there another tavern up the road?
We had several to stop by.
So, with your uncanny perception, your ear twitches suddenly, and you hear someone trying to, or a possible number of someone's trying to stealthily approach your campsite. You guys are about halfway to the ghost town of Corpse Inn that you need to get to, and you have used a little bit of the last of your rations. You're a little tired, you're a little worn out, and only have what you have on you at the moment. But especially because you rolled so high, you can perceive 7, possibly 8 smaller figures attempting to sneak through the woods.
So it's an ambush.
When we kill them all and take their rations.
We're gonna have to see. What do you got? How do you guys approach this? Also, by the way, normally we have a little song that we play, but we're doing a thing a little bit different. That is the first perception check of the game. And if anybody would like to take a drink, we normally on our first look around drink and think of what we.
We'll play it on our show if we can find it on YouTube. If we get copyrighted, fuck it.
I have it on my phone.
I don't have a drink though.
I mean,
put it in your mic. Fuck it. Send it.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys want to take a moment while you're thinking about what you're going to do next.
I'm with Anthony on that.
So this is an app called Soundbar
that
I use a lot, and me and most of my groups have made all kinds of different rules and house rules about this app, and it's kind of just like a radio soundboard. It goes like this. Oh, my bad. Not that one. And it just adds a little magic to things. And then usually on the first perception check of the night, we play that game, we play that song, and everybody gets their thinking hats on. All right, you three are surrounded, possibly, by an unknown force, at least 7 or 8 that you can hear moving towards your campfire. The time for action is now. Each one of you, what do you do? Describe to me exactly. You find yourself in the woods, sitting at a campfire. No one should be out there besides the normal animals. You hear something snap.
I'm gonna draw my bow, put it on the head.
You ready your bow? Absolutely, perfectly done. And your bow is ready. Vino, what you got?
I'll grab a torch from the fire and go out there and try to find them and kill everybody and take their rations.
Readying a torch.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. I got you. So you grab a torch. He readies his bow. Scar.
Going in with going back to medic. Checking out.
You medic?
Yeah, medic power. That's what my character is. Like I can heal you.
I don't know what they are.
Well, okay. Now, both of your characters are knowledgeable, especially you. You are knowledgeable in medicine. That is different than being able to heal someone. With the spells that you have ready right now, you have a couple of stone spells ready. You've got a mist spell ready, and you have what was the?
Let me go ahead of y'all on certain stuff. So it's like, let me go ahead because they don't see my tracks. So then they don't see the fog either.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the spell that I have. So like, I go ahead and then I can alert y'all.
Better chances of exceeding and killing all of them.
So that they can get my tracks, nothing, and then I got medics, so I can heal.
Well, you can't hit. You can. You're knowledgeable in medicine, but you can't heal us.
Okay. How about this?
Well, I'll just repeat what you said.
That's what I'm saying. No, and you're absolutely right. He does have the ability to, not at the moment. However, medicine is different, or heal is different than healing. So basically, healing is a spell, and you can also use potions or, sleep, eat food, do that type of stuff for healing. However, if you fall and break your leg, he can fix your leg so that you guys can walk out of there together. You know what I'm saying? It's like a first aid sort of a deal, but better. You're basically like an EMT as far as healing goes. But basically what your main character is you guys are currently in a forest. You are attuned to the plants. You can walk without leaving footsteps. You can create a fog or some sort of rock embankment that you would need to do to make the terrain harder. You can also give a pretty tight punch. You're not a bad fighter either way.
Well, I'll fucking fight then. Throw a punch.
Earth. So
Wind, fire.
I'm gonna. So after I draw the bow, I'm shooting. I'm going for the eye.
All right.
First target I see.
I'll tell you what you're gonna do. Roll me one more perception check. Give me a D20 if you would, please.
D20 is the one I just had.
Either way. Yeah, bring it close to you. What is that?
16.
That is 16. You draw your bow and you shoot out into the darkness based completely on what your ears are telling you and what your senses are telling you. Would you like to describe your critical hit?
I want to say
about 100 yards away
I
from
shot
you.
through the right eye, probably through the target. I think
Perfect.
the arrow probably went through his head, maybe bounced off the second target, didn't go through him because of the penetration.
We'll start with the first one.
You got it.
You hear a wet slamming sound, and then you hear a cry and a drop. You can tell by the sound that it is definitely someone of Fey descent. Something like a goblin or a creature of the night. But you hear at the same time them currently approaching. This is tree lines. Oop, let me get that marker.
These are weak critters, guys. I think you should go in and whirlwind them.
There we
Really?
go.
Yeah.
Went down?
All right. Tree line. A little bit of a clearing off to this way.
So it calls a storm.
And rustling from here, 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 here,
Oh,
and here.
oh, it's a total ambush.
All right. Where you at, sir? What you gonna do? You pulled a torch from the fire. We have one. He shot into the darkness, and you all heard a body drop. The rustling around you becomes even more intense and becomes closer. They're picking up their pace. They know you know they're there.
Just try to find one and kill it.
All right, roll a perception check for me. Give me one of these big guys, if you want to use the mat. That is a 14 plus.
D&D serious.
You immediately spot one of them to your right. And as you advance towards them, we're going to go to Scar. What's your move?
I would use the power of I would play it. I would still play the side of power. It would be Stormwise.
It would be what?
I would use my strength or my diversion to put everything in place. So I would go in disguise and I would throw things in a barrier.
Okay, well, let's start there. So you're going to disguise yourself as what?
Fucking trees. And I would
Perfect.
set them around the whole fucking barrier that he's getting
We're
attacked.
going to start there. Roll a disguise roll. You are very
You
attuned
can
with
do that?
nature.
Right.
You have all kinds of things around you, such as leaves and twigs.
Oh.
We're just going to start right there. Let's do a disguise roll. And that is a critical. You seem to just sink into the forest and are, even with your
I can
moss,
wrap fucking trees
even
around
with your
his legs.
moss and wood-covered armor, you are able to just kind of lean back on the rock you're sitting on and become part of the woods. At this point, we're going to say everybody roll for initiative. And what I'm going to do, so what that is basically time stops. We're in like bullet time right now. That was your moment to get ready for what's about to happen. You got a lucky shot off. You prepared yourself for a battle and found your first target. You were able to sink into a sneaky spot that disguises you from what's going on around you. So now we do this a little different. I got a house rule for this one where everybody roll this D. Is that a 12? What's it say? Nope, that's 12. Here. Everybody hit that guy once. right, we have an 8. We have 7. We got a 9.
Yeah.
Now,
You know.
that doesn't necessarily mean the order you guys are going to go in because of your initiative. So, but what the order we are going to go in is we are going to go Taylor, and then Vino, and then Scott. Tell me exactly what you're going to do. You are approaching, or excuse me, you just got off a lucky shot. Your bow is ready. You can sense these targets around you. Imagine that each one of these squares is 10 feet.
Can I shoot off this like arrow of light that shoots out a radius of...
I'll tell you what you can do. As you're searching through your quiver for an arrow of light, you find that you have 10 regular masterwork arrows. You also have 3 arrows of slaying, which are barbed and have a little bit more energy behind them, and then one greater slaying arrow. However, searching through your pockets, you find you have a flint and steel. I mean, you have a number of other things, but you have a flint and steel. You have a small vial of alchemist's fire, which is basically like a road flare sort of a thing. And you have 2 screaming bolts, which either when thrown or half shot, create a sound that you can follow, and whatever they stick in, they scream when they stick in them. That's what you have on you. Also, there's a campfire in front of you.
Can I somehow catch an arrow on fire and shoot it into the air?
Roll a d20 for me, one of the big guys, for crafting. And you attempt to, but you just can't get the arrow to light.
All right.
It's still your turn.
My turn?
You still have an action. You have a free action if you want to listen for a second or say something to somebody. And then you still also have, even though the arrow didn't work, you still have an attack. Everybody quit looking at me.
What's that?
You'll find out.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna blindly shoot again. I guess.
All right. Using which target are you gonna go for?
This guy?
You're gonna go for that guy. All right. You are gonna roll a d20 for me. That's
what is that? 6? That's not good.
That's a 6 plus 7. There you are. You hear nothing coming from the woods. All right. That's the end of your turn. Leading on. Now, while that is happening, he is drawing his bow back, about to shoot in this direction. Vito, you are moving towards what you perceived in the bushes. You are almost within grasping distance. What are you going to do?
Decapitate him.
All right. Well, we're going to go forward, and then I'm going to need you to... You currently have a torch in your hands. Are you going to... you come through the bushes, and you see a small, very flamboyantly dressed goblin, goggles, some sort of weird piercings alongside the side of its head, as well as a rakish haircut, definitely a member of the Rat Gang. His teeth are molded and sharpened, and they have his name stitched in them. And as you come through the bushes, he grins up at you, and you can see the dog cutter is carved into his large front incisors, and he hisses. He grabs an attack of opportunity because as you open the bushes, he pulls a knife on you and goes to swing. And you easily avoid it. You are holding a torch, and directly in front of you is a goblin that just tried to stab you, and you want to swing at the head. Roll a d20 for me. You can use any one of these. 15, which is with your unarmed skill +7. You literally almost completely just knock his head off with the force of your blow. Sparks explode around from the side of the torch, and his whatever back grease that he's kept in his rockabilly hair just lights it up, and as he falls to the ground, it starts to sizzle kind of away, and his neck goes to a nearly sideways position. Do you want a free action or something? You can talk to somebody. You can take something out of your pocket. You can, just do a simple action if you want to. You don't have to.
I don't think I want to.
All right, going to Scar then. You sit quietly in the darkness. You see this is all happening at the same time. You see your companions. One is about to release an arrow at an obvious target. The other seems to be in some sort of scuffle over on the opposite side of the campfire. Where are you at?
I'm going for the scruffle. I'm focused on that.
Okay. As you start, so you can move if you want to. As I said, think of these as about 10-foot squares. You can move 4. You got the campfire right here in the middle.
Something going here.
Okay, perfect. Now what are you going to do? Because you are still about 20 feet away from the wood line.
I'm going to look at the situation and use the nature and see if I can grab any enemies around I can with the ability to call the trees.
Okay.
Plants.
Well, the first thing you're going to do is roll a d20 for me in order to do another perception check. Any one of the big guys right there. If you guys are rolling pretty good, that's also one. A 10 plus. All right. You are approaching. You are approaching Vino, and you can see that for a second he almost has his hands full. You're once again about 20 feet away, and you just in time perceive that one has come out of the bushes right behind you. A almost bat wing, some sort of parachute device surrounds Otto the Goblin. He's wearing like a flight helmet sort of a deal, and if it wasn't for his inability to not shout a war cry when he came down from the treetops, you never would have noticed him. However, he was too excited and wasn't quick enough on the draw. You get an attack of opportunity. You are currently not holding any weapons, but you have the jump on this basically hang gliding goblin that is coming in at you.
So my move.
You can attack. You've already done your movement, but you can attack, do a free action. Once again, I got these cheat sheets out here for you guys. If you want options, if you go to the second page, which is combat. There you go.
Never played it, bud.
No, and this is what we do. Believe me, and there's no wrong way to play. And once again, it's just we're walking through the story.
I would do critical hits.
Okay, a critical hit is something that you come across where if you roll, so you want to take a swing at him.
Yeah.
Okay, if you get a critical, roll that d20. We're going to do an attack on the flying goblin. Otto is coming into your wake, and you get a 13, which plus your just natural ability to punch. Unfortunately, you didn't get a critical hit, but you were absolutely able to take a swing at him. Now you're going to roll for damage. So what that is with just your fists, not that one, but you see these pyramid style guys?
Yeah.
This one. Roll one of those plus 2. Okay, so you didn't kill him or anything, but you literally, he's coming out of the sky and you give him a solid slap, and as you do so, he absolutely whiffs his kind of bat wing sort of setup. One of the wings crumples as he flips to the ground and he comes down hard. He's down, but he's not out, which brings us back to the top of initiative. You let that arrow go. You hear another sound of a body dropping, but you can still only kind of sense the sounds around the tree line. To your left, Vito is just beating the crap out of a goblin with a torch and has completely obviously come into his own rage. Whereas Scar on the other side of the fire seems to have had something flying at him and he swatted it away.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I want to load 2 arrows and do a multi-shot.
All right. So we're going to attempt to do a dexterity roll. I'm going to tell you, this is a really, really tricky one, even for you, even with your aptitude at the bow. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do now is we're going to do something called rolling at disadvantage. I'm going to need you to beat a 15. Or excuse me. Hold on. Yeah. I'm going to need you to beat a 15. And what you're going to do, you can roll 1 twice, or you can roll 2 d20s, and you got to take the lower one.
What would Kevin Costner do?
And I need you to beat a 15. What's the lowest one? And he does. It's a 19 and a 16. He absolutely does it.
We knew it in the house. We knew it. Because we have district boys.
Pulling a completely drastic.
A 2-in-1 shot.
Without even meaning to.
Completely annihilated the target
from his bow and pulls back a double shot.
Kevin Costner, you pulled it off.
I did it. I did it.
He aims based on sound. Go ahead and roll. We're going to do 2 parts. Roll a perception check for me real quick. Pick
Brian
a D20.
Adams soundtrack.
That's how we do it.
Not Ryan. Brian Adams soundtrack.
And we're doing a 10, but you have that's plus 10. So that's you hear the rustling in the bushes in front of you. You pull back. You let go of each of the arrows. And then what I want you to do right now is you're going to roll. You can do it 1 at a time or roll 2 of them. You're going to roll 2d6. Those are the normal. Cheers to you. Congratulations on your amazing feat. All right. Pick up 2d6, or you can roll them 1 at a time if you prefer. These are your standard ones. I want you to roll each of those for the damage that you have done. All right. So, and then I want you to roll them once more.
Okay, fucking around. You messed up, Johnny. Okay, messing around.
2.
All right.
2 and 2 again.
You hear 2 screeches coming from the bushes, and you hear a hasty retreat coming from where you shot into the wilderness. You have just nearly taken the head off of the goblin. His neck cracks. He falls over dead. His hair sizzling and stuff like that. You look down below him. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me, if you would, real quick. We're going to do a perception check. Via. Or, excuse me. I got to get your character names right. Vina.
4.
Vino. And, okay. You see that something seems to have fallen out of his pockets, but before you can move, you hear the screeching. Once again, this is all like bullet time. It's all happening at the same time. You hear the screeching of the flying goblin coming at Scar. It's right behind you, and it somewhat distracts you, so you don't see what the sizzling, sudden, newly fresh corpse of the goblin in front of you has dropped. You hear more rustling coming from the trees above you. Where you at? Directly behind you, you hear your elven companion let go of what you think might be 2 arrows, but aren't sure until suddenly you hear 2 screams nearly instantaneously together.
I'm thinking they better be.
All right, Vino, where you at?
I heard a noise. I heard a noise in the trees.
They're above you now, and you just saw one hang glide down from the trees.
I think I'm just going to take that torch and catch the trees on fire.
All right. You swing. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me. And once again, grab one of these big guys for me and roll one of those. And you know what we're going to do? That's a 13. Let's see how we're going to do this. So that would basically be... Okay. As you put the torch to the ground and start to try and catch the roots, the odd formation of the trees, it seems, once again, this forest seems corrupted. Small plants seeming to have grown teeth. The trees almost have eye-like stalks and features to them, almost like pieces of insects being put together. However, the weird wispy hair-like strands that could be called grass around the bottom of them catch fire immediately, while the trees themselves do not catch. The ground and the dried brush, after years of growing through sand, begins to enlighten the area and kind of circle you guys. So now, let me grab another marker.
Water power.
There is a brush fire happening all in this area. Which brings us to Scar, who has just slapped away what would be an aerial assailant. Finds him writhing on the ground, trying to escape himself from the wings and the contraption that he thought would get him so far.
I'm going water power on this one.
All right, what are you going to do?
I'm going to call to nature and going to
Make it rain.
Make it fucking flood.
Well, here's the best I can do for you. It's kind of a dark one. You call to your knowledge of knowing the spaces on the ground more specifically, and everything just seems to line up. Using your pure will, you focus yourself and you stare at the ground, attempting to bring in some sort of flood, possibly to help with the fire, possibly to adhere to your intruders.
Kill campgrounds.
And what you do is you end up creating a large puddle. Otto the Goblin is splashing around in said large puddle as it fills up around him, unable to break himself away from his bonds. He thrashes, the water rises higher. He can't turn himself away from the odd wood and leather contraption that he attempted to use for a short period of flight, and it gets stuck in the mud, and he slowly turns over towards the water and quits moving.
Attack, right?
I mean, you did so. You have a free action if you want to take it.
Attack.
All right. Well, no, you can't attack. That was your. You did create water
That's it.
directly in front of you. You can take something out of your pocket. You can say something to people. You can high five yourself for a moment, or
So he created water, but where's the water?
he created water underneath the goblin that was trying to get out of his backpack. So basically, a goblin in a backpack that's kind of like a hang glider tried to swoop down from the trees. He was able to punch him in the face before he got to him, whatever his plan was. It wasn't that great of a plan. And when he hit the ground, his backpack crumpled. And he couldn't get out of his backpack. And then Scar created water underneath him. Just enough.
Oh.
This is awesome.
All right.
All right.
Between the brush fire,
Look.
the sinking
Say
of
it.
Otto the Goblin, you hear all of the others beginning to retreat, and you realize that this was the first, but most likely not the last attack that you will find upon this road. But you're here to do a job. We have to make it to Corpsen. Okay, so you guys, as you hear the rustling retreated in the trees, there are there's some possibly dead goblins out here, but right in front of you, there are 3 dead goblins and your campfire. And, you guys can kind of take a minute and be like, what do you do?
We're gonna start this. Let's build a camp, do some mushrooms, and maybe some shots.
Turning back immediately to the
And
campfire.
just think about how many goblins we just killed.
Enjoying your revelry. Now, something you might want to do is possibly check them or
loot 'em,
see
yeah.
what.
Good idea.
Yes, I was going to say.
I did kill most of them.
Of course you did, Decatur.
Also, the bushes are on fire. Just going to point that out.
Yeah, we
I mean, of course, your camp is set. You do have a campfire, a couple of tents, and a bunch of rations sitting around. You were obviously targeted because each one of you knows, being veterans of the Infernal Wars, as well as mercenaries in your own right, each one of you knows that the Rat Gang, while somewhat unaccomplished, doesn't send this level of a threat unless they think you're already onto something.
Well, the bushes were evil anyway. So they got teeth and shit. Like
It's
the
it's
soil's
getting
corrupt.
worse.
I mean,
It's true.
So starting a fire, I mean, it's not like it's not like a Smokey the Bear situation. Like, just start the fire, burn all this shit up, and we're just trying to find goblins. And
We're just trying to find a quest.
yeah, I don't even know why we're going to the Ghost City for, but
Is
try to
there?
kill as many goblins as we can on the way.
I
I
think-
thought I had a sword. If I don't, I fucking should have
The sword's
You
in
do.
front
You
of you.
just got to pull it. I was going to say,
one.
you went for the
I do
torch
have a
first.
sword.
You do.
Well, I ran with the torch to see what's going on. The visual of the ambush with an opening. I mean, where does the opening go to?
Well,
We're done.
where does the opening go to? It's a good question, guys. Leading down the path on the way to Corpsen is what, as you get closer, things get more and more corrupted. You do decide to take this time to just let a fire burn kind of in the woods while you sit around and reminisce on all of 8 minutes ago when you were attacked for possibly the first time by members of the Rat Gang. So you can take this time to converse. You do have some rations and stuff like that. Once again, you can loot the bodies if you want to, or something like that. Or you can head on down the road. Doesn't seem like any of you took any damage, really.
Down the road.
Yeah. We're going to head on down.
All right. As you move further and deeper into the Giant Step Woods, you can see over the horizon the coming of Corpston. Not necessarily the buildings themselves, but the moss-covered and dark, tree-shaped structures that once were buildings, but now have been far overtaken by this perverted nature. As you approach, you see obviously what your goal is. The main structure, the one that still stands the most, that has been propped up by ramshackle, thank you, sorry, ramshackle struts, and actually, despite the fact that it looks like it will fall apart with a slight smash, there is a locked door in front of you. Classic key and lock kind of a situation in front of a large stone structure with a bit of boards sticking into the sides and a locked door. What do you guys do?
I guess I'm going to attempt to pick one.
All right. Here comes a fun one. So, for these circumstances, we have special dice. Let me explain how this works. I'm going to show you. So what you're going to do, you're going to take it up, you're going to spin it like a top, you're going to pull it back. You got me? I'm going to give you 2 tries. You can pick, since you have an advantage on lock picking, you can take the higher one.
Oh, that's a...
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Spin it like a top, pull it back. And
that was
hold
like
on.
That was 11. Let me do it one more time.
Yeah. Snap. What's that?
86.
That is a 18.
All right.
You definitely and easily unlock as soon as the old door swings open. It smells.
I'm the best.
It smells like.
You are the best.
It smells like death. Everyone roll a perception check. Everyone roll a d20 for me.
Haley, you mind bringing us a couple of shot cups? Cups. They're right there by the window. Kate's kicking your ass right now. How you feel?
I thought it was all on the same team, huh?
We are.
Look. What's the roll? Do I roll?
Can you roll?
I was going to say, yeah, what are you rolling for? What do you want to do? This door is just open. Yeah, roll for perception, first of all, if you want to get a d20 right there, one of the big guys, just to look around, just see what's in there. One of those? Absolutely. Fun fact, that one you're holding is actually made out of alcohol.
Feels that way.
Perfect. 13 plus 6. You immediately see that whatever was supposed to be in this place is completely rotted through, and what you find instead is a couple of oddly molded corpses. The oil slick sheen of the mossed goon, the plants combined with the evil that's taken over the land, has become almost a spiderwebby fungus that fills the entire room. 2 fresh corpses, obviously killed by the rat gang, lie in the entryway above the items that you were supposed to capture, that you were supposed to retrieve. They both start twitching when the sunlight hits them. What do you guys do?
I mean, so you're saying when the sunlight hits them, they start twitching?
They were dormant until the door opened. A stink, a wash, and almost cold air comes out at you. Once again, you see like an entire room that is basically spider webbed, not with actual
Can I burn 'em?
spider webs, but
Can I burn them?
you can go for it. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna grab a little torch and light them up.
Okay, so you currently have a light spell, which isn't like heat or anything like that, but you also have flint and steel in your pocket. You do have a torch, but it's not lit. So you're going to light your torch?
Yep.
Okay, you pull your flint and steel and your torch from your backpack. Go ahead and roll me a d20, doing a dexterous roll. And that
It's
is
a 20.
That is
a 20.
an absolute
Burn 'em,
critical
motherfuckers.
hit. You, in one swift motion, look into what could have been a horrifying zombie encounter, and you just like, we're gonna take care of this right now. You pull your lighter and your torch
Let's get a high five.
from your backpack. In one swift motion, would you like to describe how you light this room up and take care of the two undead encapsulated on the floor?
Yeah, 100%. So for me, it would be, shit. I'd rather just move forward and
Fucking flamethrower.
let's go it in.
Well, like, tell me, like a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Tell me, describe how. Okay, so like you're pulling it out and you're like, okay, and you light it, and
All right,
then
so-
you do. Are you
so-
doing like your
so the
back to the
situation,
explosion?
you
or
watch-
are you doing like, what's the deal?
So for me, it would be your crew. We're out here, and then you just get to the point where you're like, fuck it, send it. So for me, I would rip off one side of my arm,
Okay.
my shirt,
Yeah. Because
and
you are
I would light
currently
it on
wearing
fire, and I
wooden
would throw
leather.
it in there, and
You
I
wrap
would
it around your hand.
and I'd burn the whole fucking thing down.
You flint and steel it. You toss it in, almost like a powder keg. All of the goom encoded spider webs and all of the goom encoded fungus just lights up like flash cotton, immediately singeing and burning the two corpses on the floor. The innards of which seem somewhat strange and seem to curl in upon themselves, almost as if there was something inside of them, but it's too late now. As soon as it started, the fire goes out. And you are left with, luckily, Raldusen thought twice to coat his crates in iron and put slabs on each side of them. Ahead of you, you see your goal in the first place. About 150 pounds worth of different baubles, transfers from the war, and simple items that are in storage. As you walk forward, one of them seems familiar to you. A mithril bow. Missing its godhair bowstring, but still a remnant of the war. It almost sings as you approach it. If you guys want to roll for treasure before we end, that would be the completion of the first chapter.
Can I roll?
Yeah,
I feel like this is
absolutely.
my freaking bow, bro.
Yeah, you feel like it is?
I feel like it's my bow.
Roll D20 for
Let's
me.
go, dog. Let's go.
The detail is, I can visualize the things saying. You got the detail on point.
Thanks, man.
Dang it!
And-
Can I reroll?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have to do it again because how are you guys going to get this stuff back to town?
Ooh, part two.
I was going to say, and I will leave you at that. Our adventurers, obviously skilled, wondering still why they move along on this same job, but maybe creating a friendship, possibly remembering who they were before the war, especially with the discovery of these ancient relics that they may have once held. And that is
Learn.
a one-shot.
Part one of D&D, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Seriously, of course, guys. So what do we think? I know we got a little heavy there. Cheers, but all right. And you guys did wonderful.
Well, I would say for me is because you did on your app a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have my character so I can have it myself.
Absolutely.
And know what my position is.
Nope.
Because I did slip up and forget a few spots.
No, you're fine. That's how it starts.
Do you have a key? I mean, based on a number, you go on a dialogue, like you just got to memorize now, or like?
Well, to tell you the truth, so a lot of that I made up off the top of my head, then
you made that up off the top of your head.
Well, thank you. And you get better at it, and that's why we do improv class and stuff like that, man. And then what the numbers are for is the numbers tell me, excuse me. So like you said, you wanted to make an attack. I can't say whether that happens or it doesn't, and so I go ahead and roll, and then the numbers tell me how good. Not even whether you did it or not, but how good you did, and then I describe it from there.
So the raw point of D&D is basically creating a video game outside of a video game, and what the dice do is if you were like a video game programmer, you would know this, but inside of games like World of Warcraft or Skyrim or anything like that, there's like hit points. There's like basically every time you make an attack, the video game does a roll.
Exactly.
Inside you don't see it, but the program rolls your damage, right? So D&D is that just
you hit it. Oh, excuse me. I talked a lot. Now I have.
And it's awesome because you get to have people like him who create this game.
What year did this game come out?
Oh,
D&D's
Dungeons and
been out
Dragons.
forever.
Originally in the 70s, created by Gary Gygax. Give me 1 second.
You're good, buddy.
I had to do my thing.
Shit, man, you were talking for. It's a lot.
Oh,
It's like a play script.
Yeah, that's
yeah. No, originally created by Gary Gygax, and Advanced D&D came out in the late 70s, and then the early 80s, there was the whole thing where they had the satanic panic, where everybody thought that it caused, it was part of cults and stuff. It's just a game of imagination. And literally, I actually was a late bloomer to it. I never played when I was younger, but I was one of those kids where I had a notebook that I used to draw characters in, and of course played a lot of video games, read a lot of weird fantasy books and all that type of stuff. And I had a couple D&D books, but I never really played it. When I got into it was in my early 20s. Which shout out Patton House. I moved in with a bunch of guys that they were much more into gaming than I was. Like, they had already been playing together for years and years and years. And they were one of those houses where like a bunch of computers were on our dining room table and they all played World of Warcraft together. And then like they would, play different role-playing games, Magic the Gathering and Vampire the Masquerade. But every Sunday was D&D. Well, I was playing in bands. We talked about this last time I was on the podcast. And I was playing in bands, and there was also a bar across the street from our house. So I lived with them for like a year, and I was just like, nothing against it, but I was like, I don't know how to play that. Never done it before. You guys are doing your own thing. And every Sunday was D&D night for them. And for a year, I would just be like, you guys know there's like a bar across the street with like women in it and stuff, right? And there's like a world out there. And they would be like, no, we're doing our own thing.
We're good.
And I think after about a year, one day I didn't have anything to do, and I sat down at the table, and I was like, and I noticed they had like, once again, snacks, pizza, all kinds of stuff, and they were like, sitting around having a drink, talking, and they were getting into these arguments where they would just be like, no, you don't understand. So if I take a fireball and I put it on an arrow, would I blow myself up, or would I have to? And it was like, okay, so what does water magic mean? Can you like fill somebody's lungs with? And they would have these arguments, and I would be like, that's super interesting, but I have no idea what you guys are talking about. So one day I sat down at the table. They just handed me a character sheet. We were playing old school then. This must have been 2005. And, you know, we had the internet, but it was only for downloading The Office off of Pirate Bay or whatever. Sorry.
Pirate Bay, dude.
And like, but I ended up sitting down at the table, and 2 years later, when I moved out of that house, well, almost 2 years later, I was like a level 16 Knight of Solamnia man, and I just fully fell in love with it. And the whole point is, I know it was a little interesting. I know it was a little, everybody's still feeling themselves out and stuff like that. But we had a couple moments, we had a couple things. And as it goes on, to me, it's the game of fun arguments. It's the game of arguments that don't matter because it's not real. It's just for funsies, and we're putting together a whole story. But then it's like, for example, could you do 2 arrows and kill 2 goblins in the woods? And it's like, well, let's go for it.
You roll it.
20. And
20.
then boom,
And
I guess you can. And like,
That's
and
it.
you have so many moments like that. And you have just so many different things, and it just keeps going. And like, once again, you guys did absolutely amazing. I know it's a little hard to just like jump right into it, but you saw it. And then if you guys are interested in doing it again, we can put your character sheets in front of you, and you'll have an actual idea what to look at. But
I would say 100% because, you know, this is our podcast. This is what we do.
well, we know where we're going next. So we just started this all on our own,
You know,
man,
it's
and
like-
we just made it up with our brains.
But
And
you know
I
what
mean-
I'm talking about with Double Arrow, Kevin Costner.
That was
Absolutely. Oh,
Brian Adams soundtrack.
and if we are to be free men, let us not be Morgan free men, right?
yeah.
Come on now.
Little John.
Are we?
He had one hand. He had one hand.
Absolutely.
But that was a climatic slow-mo.
The witch.
Fucking Robin Hood.
Right. Oh my God.
I saw the opportunity. I saw the 2
I was
goblins.
gonna say, I figure we're about done, but we can talk about Prince Thieves for the whole rest of this thing, man. I'm totally down.
We have mics everywhere. Another thing too is the fact that for our show and I mean, Kay does know a lot because he did go professional.
I don't know a lot of D&D,
But you know World of
He's
Warcraft.
nerded out about how the
You're
dice
really
is like
good
a
at
Nintendo programmer, and like it made sense to me now. But you didn't say anything about this in like 10
Well,
But see, like, you guys did great. I know. And I know it all seems intimidating, but believe you me, the whole point that makes it fun is, nah, man, we're just making up stories.
D&D
It doesn't
does
matter.
seem
Like,
super-
I had to understand the dynamics of it, and I'm so fast-paced. Work. But we're in here like
It's-
always talking.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to like slow down and have
Yeah.
a dialogue going.
and you literally hit it on the head, though, man.
Yeah.
Is that's what, to me at least,
I think that's
what
why
the
people
beauty of the
enjoy this.
game is
Slows you down.
It slows you
gotta
down.
Just, you think,
You
you
with your
get
boys.
in there, you're making up a game, and you're being yourself and stuff like
And you're
that.
coming back to the 90s a little bit. You were just with your boys, you're having drinks, and it created an epic story.
Thank
which,
you.
You know,
Yeah,
that's hard to
absolutely.
do.
And,
But-
and for the fact that you are taking to a level of like the summer camp and you're helping kids and
Absolutely.
you're showing imagination.
Giving kids
Oh.
imagination again
Oh
and
my
get them
God.
off the phone.
And honestly, obviously, it would be an
you
inappropriate
don't have to
setting,
do that
but
though.
you should see some of the kids that come in. They get me, man. Some of the kid, and I mean, like, when I say they get me, like, I get rules lawyers that come in. I mean, I know you guys are new to this and you don't really know. Maybe some of the audience does, but there's things like min-maxers, which are people that want to just be the strongest they can possibly can be. There's something called a rules lawyer, where everybody who has really read the books and they really know their stuff. Like, I'm pretty good. I've been DMing for God, oh man, now I feel old. I've been DMing for about, maybe 13, 14 years now or something like that. And I've been playing for about 20 years. And but there's people like I get 11-year-olds that are like, they know the books better than I do, and I gotta look stuff up on the app, and I gotta like double check things, and they'll be like, actually, what uncanny dodge means is, and I'm like, and more power to them. That's part of the game. But then you also, one of the best things about the camp, and I'm so excited to see my campers, my new and my returning campers this year, is you get the quiet one out of their shell. You get the really active one to kind of sit down and think about what they're doing for a minute. And it all, at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Like the high fives about hitting that D20 and the way that everybody's like coming together and we're trying to think using critical thinking skills. And then when you get critical thinking skills, not only do you feel good, but it like rewards your friends. And there's not a lot of other scenarios. And once again, I know it seems very complicated, but I feel like it's the most simple thing in the world. And I mean, like we used to play like, and I don't know another name for it. I don't want to be weird, but like we used to play like guns when we were kids. And when you were with your friends and you would be like, oh, I got you. And they'd be like, no, you didn't. Cops and robbers. Thank you. That's a way better way to put it. And we would, yeah. And like, but it would be like cops and robbers. That's a way better way to put it, where it's like, oh, I got you. No, you didn't, because I'm wearing special armor. Well, I have a special laser that, you know what I mean? Well, no, you don't, because I have, this is the expanded version of that.
And then RoboCop came out. It changed everything forever.
It's true. And like, well, and it is involved.
Do you have a D&D table at your house? Like with the cities and things? I've seen them on TikTok where these guys go so hard and they have full-blown cities and castles.
So yes and no. I don't have I have a very nice table that I specifically bought for playing D&D on. It is not one of those where you actually build into it, but I do also have all the cities and stuff like that. And when I play with camp, because I have a little bit more time to set up and I know what I'm doing, I have like a curriculum for each of those days. We'll completely set up the city, you know what I mean, and do the whole thing. And when you guys are in the bar, you'll actually be there, and it's kind of a deal, and that totally helps. But
awesome. So when you say you have a nice table for D&D at your house,
yeah.
So Thanksgiving is not permitted on that table. That table is for D&D.
Oh no! Well, it's in our upstairs, which is like kind of the den of the yeah. You know what I mean?
You can look it up. There's people that spend $20,000+ on D&D. Like
there are Instagram accounts I follow where they use projectors. They have real water.
And you can watch them on Twitch as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really brings you into it. And they're all drinking and cutting up.
Guys, this has been so much fun.
But this has been awesome, man. And,
seriously, really I appreciate you. Literally, the amount of effort you put in for little old me.
No, man. I mean,
hope that I
this was fun.
It's not. It's you putting yourself beside yourself and doing D&D and doing summer camps for kids.
Bring back imagination.
Shut up.
Bring back imagination. That's always what I'm going to fight for.
I'm fight for that. If anything, bring back imagination.
I'm going to fight for.
And shout out to Champion Printing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Use your brain for fun.
Yeah,
Use your brain for fun.
But you remember the Imagination South Park episode?
Absolutely.
That's 2 parts to that.
Well, are we going to sing the song on our outro?
I was trying to.
Imagination.
So, and this only fucking fact that Champion Printing has been, which is your company at your house.
It is.
Anthony, they've been doing this like in the back of their house. Him and his wife have been doing this for years.
10 years as of January.
In the back of their house, because he will not. He only does screen print, like he flashes it. So they only do it traditional way.
I remember from the last podcast.
My cheap ass band braces are cutting into my wrist. Can we cut out of this?
I'm losing my voice too.
But also,
you know,
Champion Club, like Champion Club's band. Champion Printing is your lifestyle pays all bills.
Absolutely. Champion Print 228 on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. Champion Club will be playing with a bunch of awesome local bands at the grocery on July 26th. Also, next week, Monday, starts D&D camp, and there still are signups. I got 6 right now, and we'll be working with Mr. Jordan. Give a shout to Rock U2.
And shout out to you, Ruby.